What do being crew? It's your boy Stevon Thomas, back with another episode of Coffee and Comments. Today we're going to review the movie Home Alone 2. Was it good? Was it trash? Let's talk about it, but first, let's take a sip. Welcome back, Being Crew. Again, this is a review of the movie Home Alone 2. And in my last video, we talked about the original Home Alone, me watching it through all the way. And same thing for this movie, Home Alone 2. It's been out for a long time. It actually came out the same year I was born. So I've seen like clips of the movie. Obviously, like the main thing that stuck out to me was like the homeless lady with the pigeons. I remember that scene very vividly, and then the toy store part. But still, I'd never seen the movie entirely through. So this is the first time I've like watched it fully through, and good movie. I would say not as good as the first one though. In my opinion, the running back the same storyline just in New York is not as fun, right? Like the fun thing about the first one is like the kid get left home alone, has to defend the house. This time it was kind of like, bro, how does this kid survive, right? Because one, he misses the plane, goes to New York, right? His family goes to, I forget where they're, Boston, I forget where they're going. But his family goes somewhere else. Or Florida, that's what it was, Florida. And he goes to New York, right? And so, one, let's talk about that. Let's start there, right? One time you miss your kid, like you leave him alone, you leave him home alone, understandable, like shit happens, right? Two times, right? You lose your kid two times. Peter McCallister and Kate McCallister, I think is her name as well. Catherine O'Hara's character, and John Hurt's characters. They should be in jail. Like there needs to be more talk about the negligent parenting that goes on in Home Alone 2, because they just literally just left their kid. Like he took off without his kid. Like his son's behind him saying, "Dad, wait up," and this man just burnt off and left his son. Like you already had issues last time. And you saw it in the car, and they're like, "Oh, where's Kevin?" And they find him. Again, it's a movie, so I'm going hard on the movie. Like this is the plot of the movie in the first place. But you go hard on this kid, like where you at? Like, and they found him in the van. And then you get to the airport, and you just like forget about him. Like you just take off because you're that worried about getting to the dang plane. No, you left the kid. Like if I was the parent, I'd be like, if all the kids there aren't gonna get left, it's gonna be freaking Kevin, because Kevin got left last time. And lo and behold, gets left behind again, and not only just left behind, but goes to one of the most dangerous and ruthless cities in the United States, which is New York, right? A little kid, I don't know how old he is in this movie, but 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, just out there. No cell phone, no like way to find your kid. Like imagine being a parent. Back then, your kid flies to New York, and you have absolutely no way of finding him. Same thing in France, but in France, at least they knew he was at home. This time, he's in freaking New York. Like, first, they don't know where he's at. Because they don't know if he's at the airport, kidnapped. Like, it's crazy to think about, like, how people live. Because there's times in my life, because I grew up in the same, like era, like, I was born in 1992. So, like, I didn't have a cell phone until I was in high school. And my parents didn't know where I was a majority of the time. Like, if I wasn't at school, they were hoping I was on the bus. If I wasn't on the bus, they were hoping like I was with my friends and family. There was many times where I got lost, and I had to like call my mom from like a payphone or whatever. It's kind of crazy to think back about. And so that's kind of like the same thought process here. It's like this dude is 10 years old trying to figure it out in New York City, right? Now he does figure out like hotel stay and all these different things, but I mean, man, like just the thought of like a 10-year-old surviving in New York, the streets of New York by himself, is crazy. Nowadays, I'm sure he could like real life, he would have been kidnapped. But this is a movie, Home Alone 2. So it's interesting. I talk about this movie a lot only because overall I wasn't a big fan of this movie. Like Home Alone 2 is beloved by people. I'm not too sure why. It's the same movie, just in New York, in my opinion. Like you see Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern and their characters fight with the kid again. He does like the whole hijinks of like stopping them from breaking into the toy store, but they actually catch him this time. But then he's saved. So you see like the same storyline play out just in New York. The fun part that's added is like Rob Schneider and like him at the hotel. Donald Trump's in this movie too, which is pretty funny. So you see like these different things, but for the most part, it's the same storyline. And for me, that doesn't like if you're gonna remake a movie, at least change it up a little bit. Maybe switch the kids, like switch the kid that gets left, not Kevin. Do somebody else. But Macaulay Culkin's the main actor, so I get why they wanted to keep it with Kevin. Overall, I gave this movie a 6.6 out of 10. Again, the original Home Alone is a 6.8, so just a couple pegs below the original Home Alone. I put this on our medium roast list. It's a good movie overall, but I don't know. If it wasn't for Christmas time, I wouldn't watch this movie. A lot of people would watch this at Christmas time too, but I mean, even at Christmas time, I wouldn't put this in my top 10, like to watch. There's a lot of movies I put above Home Alone 2. Home Alone 1, great. Home Alone 2, it's the same movie, just running it back in New York. So that's my thoughts. That's my comments. Let me know what you guys think about Home Alone 2. If you like Home Alone 1 or Home Alone 2 better in the comments. But appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of Coffee and Comments.